We are a day away from the MEAC-SWAC Challenge, in which we're going to have Jackson State versus South Carolina State playing against each other once again, a rematch from the 2021 Celebration Bowl championship game. Funny thing is, it's a little twisted turn going on with this thing right now because it has been announced that head coach Pough is leaving the South Carolina State football program after this season. So you already know all of the athletes out there on that South Carolina State football team is going to be looking to make sure that their head coach go out with a bang. They ain't going to leave no players out there on the field. But the million-dollar question is, looking at everything stacking up right now in this game, how do you see this game going? It's two great teams that's going to get together and get out here and give us a great show this upcoming Saturday. Matter of fact, tomorrow, we're 24 hours away. They're going to give us a great show. And don't forget, that heat index going to be some serious around the time kickoff take place. So I'm hoping all the athletes out there are hydrated. But guys, we're going to talk about a few things as far as the breakdown on which way we can see this thing going, because there's a lot of different moving pieces that's happening here that I don't think many are paying attention to. But Coach's going to try and give you a couple of gems. So y'all stick around and let's go ahead and get into this thing right after this. Y'all know it's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, share these videos, and tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on in this thing. Because I'm like, Coach, what you got going on over there, brother? You've been dropping that content this week. What you got happening for us? Don't leave us stranded now, brother. Come on with it. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I say this to you. Looking at how everything is stacking up in this game, like I stated previously, head coach Pough, this is his last ride. He's going to be walking off into the sunset once the season is over with. He's done coaching collegiate football. This is going to be head coach TC Taylor. This is going to be the first time that he's going to lead a team into the MEAC-SWAC Challenge football game as the head coach. And we know there's going to be some other coaches that's on these staffs that either have coached in this game before previously with other teams, or this is going to be their first rodeo, getting a real taste of exactly what to expect in this type of pivotal game between these two teams. Because it's funny, I'm wondering, could we very well see these two teams play each other again at the end of the season in the Celebration Bowl? I mean, y'all do remember Triggerman Harper over there, Felix Triggerman Harper over at Alcorn State, let it be known. We starting the A and ending the A. Could it be a possibility that we see a rematch at the end in the A? But we'll save that for another time. But we're going to talk about this here. We already know, this, like I said, the stakes is high right now because head coach Pough is walking off into the sunset. I want to say I appreciate you, head coach Pough, for all that you've done for the athletes that have come before you, that you've had the opportunity to coach and turn those young men into men once they left your program, helping them understand what's going to be expected of them in the community outside of the walls of South Carolina State University football program. And when I look at this whole situation here, like I said, head coach Pough is moving on. That's going to give an extra fire for those athletes to say, you know what? I got to turn up for my coach. I got to make sure I leave it all out there on the line for my coach. But you know what? That same type of fire is on the other side of the field as well for Jackson State. You got a lot of Jackson State athletes over there that played in the Celebration Bowl against this South Carolina State football team previously, in which they was there for that 31-10 loss. And they did not take this very well because they knew they had the team to get out there and get things done, but it just didn't happen. It didn't happen. So now you ask yourself, like, wait a minute, what can we do this time? We got to find a way to make sure we get our coach, our new head coach, his first win. We got to keep that streak going, baby. We can't let that streak fall wayside as far as with head coach TC Taylor not getting his first win as the new head football coach. We got to keep that thing moving. But we're going to talk about, in order to win this game, we already know it's going to be upon those offensive, defensive coordinators as far as what they can do. And there's some new faces that's going to be on both of these squads as coaches. But there's going to be one coach in particular that's an old face, but he's coming back home to go ahead and make sure things are moving in the direction that they need to move. And as I stated previously, looking at, the athletes that they have on these teams, I mean, you got to give it up to South Carolina State. You got Patrick Godbolt, Jablonski Green, you got Malcolm McGee, you got Jordan Watkins, Jayla Evans, Corey Fields. The playmakers over Jackson State: Kevin Wiggins, Tyus Martin, Josh Clark, True Thompson, Devontae Davis, Isaiah Guthrie, DJ Stevens, J.D. Martin, Rico Powers, Seven McGee, Jeremiah Williams, just to name a few. We're going to see these athletes get out there on the field and really put on for their universities, letting everybody know, hey, listen, we are here to bring that W home so that we got the bragging rights for this year. I think Jackson State really want to get out there and get their lick back. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to find any and every way possible. After a 31-10 loss to a team, I'm trying to get my lick back because you know what? That just didn't sit right with me. It just didn't sit right with me. And as I stated, the coaches are coming into the program. You got South Carolina State. They got an old face that's coming into this program that's going to be the offensive coordinator, and which is Coach Kevin McWork, who's going to come in there and make sure he's able to set his offense up so that they can exploit any personnel issues that's out there on the field. I mean, you want to get the best. You want to put yourself in position to get the best matchups possible to make sure that your team is able to exploit that over and over and over again. And if he finds multiple ones out there on the field, you already know he's going to do any and everything he can to exploit those mismatches, making sure that South Carolina State takes advantage of it. He coached over at Methodist University in Fayetteville, North Carolina. As the offensive coordinator, his offense averaged 437 yards and 31 points per game. You put all of that together, you look at the defensive coordinator that's coming in, who was a previous head coach, he was a previous coach over at North Carolina A&T. You got to understand, Coach Thomas Howard from North Carolina A&T was the defensive passing coordinator and linebackers coach. Now, Coach Howard had an athlete go over into the NFL, in which you talk about none other than Frank McCain III, who's now over at the Carolina Panthers playing football for them in the NFL. So he understands exactly what needs to be done. And if I'm not mistaken, he was on those teams that was playing in the Celebration Bowl against the SWAC previously. So head coach Buddy Pough is making sure he set this deck the way it needs to be set, making sure that he walks up out of here into the sunset as champion once again. And it starts in this game. But, hey, before we get to that, slow down, Coach. You're moving too fast, man. Because you got to understand, Jackson State got coaches too, buddy. They bring them coaches in there as well. Listen, State's new defensive coordinator come in from Alcorn State University. Now, I know y'all like, wait a minute, Coach, Alcorn State University, but they wasn't in the mix of things last year. But their defense was. Did you not pay attention to that front seven out there on the field for Alcorn State, how they got after the ball last season? I mean, come on now. Defensive coordinator Jonathan Bradley, I mean, like I said, he coached at Alcorn State University last year. He had the Braves defense ranked third in the SWAC. I mean, they had 39 sacks, and they were fourth in total defense last season, allowing 325.1 yards per game. Now, just imagine, he's able to come out there and put that same type of sauce on Jack State defensive front, or excuse me, their defense, period, making sure that they're able to get out there and really get after this ball. Get after South Carolina State's offense, making sure that they don't allow Corey Fields to get loose out there, running that ball up and down the field, especially if he get out there and get to running RPOs. You already know he's going to try to put that ball up in there in the lap of that running back, pull it out, either A, throw it down the field, or B, he's going to tuck it and run. Really pay attention to everything that's going on. Like I said before, they're going to be looking to take advantage of mismatches. So if by chance those linebackers are not able to read the play properly and they get sucked in coming in too far, thinking that is going to be a run, over committing, as one would say, guess what? They going to run it all daggone day long, making sure that they keep Jackson State on skates. Now, I say all of that to say this. Looking at what Alcorn State defense did last year, Coach Bradley, you must understand Jackson State defense is going to be just as notorious this season as it has been previously in the past. It may not stop teams. It may not only allow teams to score 10 points per game, but you better believe they dang sure going to make sure they get after the ball. That's going to be something that we're going to see. I don't think it's going to be a real letdown on this defense because, again, Jackson State, they brought in the athletes to come into the program to fill in those spots of athletes that left last season to move on to go do other things. They filled in those spots with the type of athletes that they need that's going to get after the ball on that defensive side of the ball. So we're going to sit back and watch how that unravels. But the offensive coordinator who's coming in from Liberty University, he was the co-offensive coordinator and wide receiver coach last season over at Liberty University, in which their offense averaged close to 400 yards per game, and they averaged 27.5 yards points per game. Not only that, but when they rushed the ball, per carry, they average 4.7 yards per game. And on the game itself, rushing the ball, they average 176.5 yards per game running the ball. So when you add all of that up, when you put all of that together, along with the 216.5 yards they average per game throwing the ball, they're going to be very formidable out there on the field with the offense that Coach Maurice Harris is looking to bring in for Jackson State. So one thing we must understand is this. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of different things that's going on here that we got to pay attention to. And I honestly feel whichever team finds their rhythm out there on the field, running plays on their offense, and is able to move the ball down the field and score, if they're able to find those mismatches out there that they're going to be looking for, because trust me, Coach Harris is going to be looking for those same mismatches that the offensive coordinator over at South Carolina State, Coach McGuirk, is going to be looking to get after himself. So understand and believe this is going to be something to pay close attention to. I honestly feel this is going to be a close game because I think this is going to be a defensive match between these two teams. I've seen some of you out there leave your score predictions of like 40-21 or 40-17, something like that. I honestly feel this game is going to be a little bit closer than that. I think that looking at how everything is drawn up right now, I think this game is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood, maybe 24-14, 24-17, or 24-20. But I'm gonna go with the latter. I'm gonna say 24-20. I want to say South Carolina State's going to get this game, but my biggest concern is, even though we don't know who the quarterback is going to be for Jackson State, we don't know which Corey Fields is going to show up on the field in this game. Like I said, he threw the ball, 31 times, and I think he completed, 16, he threw the ball 31 times, completed 12 in the Celebration Bowl for 166, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think he was sacked 2 times. But the key ingredient why I say it is because he's coming off of a shoulder injury. So we don't know how things are going to go once he takes that first hit. I honestly believe this game could possibly very well go down to the wire. Now, before I give my prediction, I'm going to tell everybody right now, Coach is looking to buy somebody lunch. So I need for you to make sure you get your predictions in there. Let me know who you think is going to win this game and what the score is going to be. Now, I'm going to say this again. I say this all the time so that everybody understands. There cannot be any duplicate scores. So if somebody put a score in, say 31-17 at 2 o'clock, and somebody come in and put 31-17 in at 2:05, guess what? They're not going to be able to get that score. If it comes out 31-17, the person that put it in 2 o'clock will get the win. So all I'm saying to you guys is make sure you get your scores in immediately. I don't want nobody to miss out on the opportunity. But listen, looking at everything taking place as far as with the athletes that, are on the team or each team, as well as the coaches that's coming into the program that have coached in this game previously or coached at other programs that have been in this game previously, as well as coached in the Celebration Bowl as well. This is going to be a great game to watch between these two teams. I'm going to honestly say head coach Buddy Pough gave South Carolina State football players an extra added boost for them to make sure that they play to the highest level that they could possibly play at, to make sure they're able to get that win, that last that last MEAC-SWAC challenge win for their head coach before he moves on at the end of the season. So I'm thinking right now, I think Jackson State going to play spoiler. And I'm going to tell you why. Just like South Carolina State, Jackson State has something big to play for as well. One, they're looking to get back from that loss that they took 31-10 in the Celebration Bowl. 2, their new head coach, TC Taylor, is the new head coach leading this team into this game. They want to make sure that head coach TC Taylor starts off his career on the right path, and that's with a W. 3, head coach Buddy Pough, I think, is playing a little chess. Because when he said, man, this is a better team this time around that they're playing than when they played in the Celebration Bowl 2 years ago. Now, we all know there was a lot of athletes, there was a lot of talent that was out there for Jackson State previously. And I don't know about you, but me personally, I would kind of feel like somebody's trying to make a mockery of me when they make that type of statement. That's just the competitor in me. And, when people say that type of stuff, you sit there looking like, wait, man, what you trying to say? We didn't have no players out here previously. I'm like, y'all beat us, but we didn't have no players. So I'm thinking that in this instance, I think Jackson State's going to get this game 2013, Jackson State, 2013. It's going to be hot out there. I'm hoping everybody's hydrated. Like I said, this game here is going to be played in an open stadium, so the heat going to be beating down on the athletes. So, again, I'm hoping everybody's hydrated and they're ready to go. But trust and believe, this is going to be a great game. Special teams could play a key factor in this, as well as defenses making sure that they shorten that field for their offense to get the ball on turn, especially if they get out there and create turnovers in this game. This could be something that could very well help move either one of these teams onto getting that W out there on the field. So we're going to see exactly how this goes. But, guys, that's my prediction. Make sure you leave yours. Coach got you on lunch. But, guys, Coach going to go ahead and get up on out this thing. But until next time, be the one and lead.